I recently saw a stat that growing companies overspend by 8 to 10% on an average. And if you're a CFO or a controller of a growing company and you're worried about how do we stop overspending without saying no to everything, this video is for you, because in this video, I'm going to break down 3 reasons why overspending happens and what you can do today to stop it without being the policy police or validating each and every request that comes for spending and so on. If you're joining me for the first time, welcome. My name is Sachin. I am the founder of Procure Desk, where we help growing companies automate better spend control. So let's jump right in. Number 1 is a common problem is budget disappear mid-month. Right? Have you ever seen that? Happens a lot, right? So you have a budget set up for, let's take, you're a charter school and every teacher has a quarterly budget. 2 months into it, you realize they have already spent the money. Now, it's not that they want to overspend. The problem is they want to do the right thing, but they don't have visibility into what their budget is. So they're always either undercorrecting or overcorrecting, trying to figure out where they should be spending the money, right? A simple fix for this issue is having real-time budget visibility. Let's say in this case, a teacher puts in a request for supplies. They can see what their budget is. They can see how much they have spent and what's left, so they can make better decisions for the organization. Number 2 is emergency purchase. So it happens a lot, right? If you're in the field, let's say take a biotech company, you're a scientist, you need a reagent pretty quickly. You call the vendor delivers it. Now, the AP doesn't know that you have already made the purchase, and the invoice comes in and maybe you go over budget, right? Or overspending. That's not anybody's fault, right? You can't really stop the operation from doing what they're supposed to do to run the day-to-day business. So how do you solve that? A simple fix for this is have a process for emergency purchase approvals. What it looks like in reality is, let's say anything less than $500, you can just buy without getting any approval. Right? So maybe rather than just, I need something now, rather than waiting for approvals, just put in the request, tie it to the right budget, buy it. So even though they are skipping the approval in this case, at least it is tied to the right budget, so you can control spending that way. Number 3 is nobody knows what was actually approved. So what do I mean by that? We see this a lot in construction companies where, let's say, foreman is on site, they need something, call the vendor, they deliver the product. Receipt is generally maybe a handwritten note that gets stapled to the invoice on what they delivered. So nobody has clarity on what was actually approved to purchase, what did we call in for, and what was the invoice for. And that is the number 1 reason for overspending, because there is no other document for you to match and say, really, what did we buy? And what was the price we agreed? And is this the same price? So a simple fix for this would be to making sure you have a purchase order process. Even though they are in the field, they can use a mobile app for quickly creating a purchase order request, put in the amount for what they're looking to purchase, so that when the invoice comes in, you know what you ordered for. And by the way, if you're worried about going over in terms of the budget that you might have for a specific project, you can now tie it to the budget and control the spending that way. So just to recap, if you are struggling with overspending and you don't want to be the policy police all the time, here's 3 things you can do. Implement real-time budget visibility so stakeholders can take better decisions based on what is available in their budget. Number 2 is implement a process for emergency approvals or a fast approval process. And number 3 is make sure you have purchase orders so everybody know what was originally approved. Now, if you are struggling with spend control in your growing company, just click on the link below and schedule some time with one of our product specialists so we can walk you through what a good spend control process will look like. Thanks again for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.